Basically, here we have 5 different characters that we're showing on the demo. These top 4 we were showing at ExileCon when we had it a few weeks ago. This last one here is the Druid, which is the one that we're mostly sort of showing as the new character for Gamescom. And effectively, I guess one of the sort of primary things we want to get across to people is the sort of different combinations between skills. This is like an instruction sheet that is used for, in the consumer booth, so you can sort of know what you're doing. But I'm just going to go to one of the islands here and in Act 4 and show you what the Druid can do.
Great. I'm very excited.
In Act 4, you have a boat and you sort of can go to whatever of the different islands you want. They have all different like little stories that you can find out about. And in the demo, we've got a few of them. There's more than just these ones, but this is what we'll do for the time being. So this is the Isle of Kin, which is an area that is a sort of like volcanic island with a whole bunch of goblins on it. And as we get here, we can show it off. So this being the Druid, it's kind of a hybrid spellcaster. So you've got both spells, and you also have a bear form. Well, in fact, more than a bear form. You have other different animal forms. So the thing people often hear for is this kind of stuff. Oh, sorry, is this kind of stuff. So if you are in bear form, you can obviously run around. Using spells is also sort of important, and what we want to really do is make it easy for you to go from sort of spell casting mode to bear mode very quickly. So what I can do here is if I slam down, when you use your bear form, when you use a bear skill, you immediately just when you use a bear skill, you turn into a bear and you do the skill. When you use a spell, you sort of automatically transform and use the spell. So there's no like sort of having to manually transform from one to the other. You just use this use the skill and it does it. There's like a sort of slight time penalty. So if you do multiple bear things in a row, that's going to be more efficient because when you transform, there's like a little time penalty, about 500 milliseconds for the transform. So you're kind of incentivized therefore to like use some spells, do what you're doing there, then turn into a bear, and then do that too.
What's happening there when he transforms? Is his material form is just becoming a bloody pulp?
Something like that. You can also, when you dodge roll, you can instantly transform back into your character. You can even do it mid-transform if you want. So at any time, you can just kind of abort what you're doing and do it. And it's really important because in PoE, we really wanted to, PoE 2 that is, we really wanted to make sure that anytime you're feeling threatened, you can always just dodge roll to get out of there, and you're never interrupted from doing that.
And just what's the cooldown timer on your dodges?
No cooldown. You can just do it as long as you want. So just hold the button down.
I knew that.
Yeah. Hold the button down and roll away to your heart's content. There's actually, originally when we made the bear, we made it so that you could dodge roll as a bear, and the animation was so fun that we decided to keep it, but just in town. So in town, you can do your roll as a bear. Yeah, it was so funny, but we're like, we don't have anything. We don't have anything to do with this, so we'll just throw it in town. Anyway, let's do an abridged version of what I do in that demo room here. So effectively, what we want to make sure, as I said, is that all the skills can be used together. So this slam here causes you to stun enemies, and I've got another skill here that does a roar, and if there's any stun enemies nearby, it gives you what's called an exerted attack down here. And exerted attacks mean that when you do another slam, it gets doubled. So you see here, I got 2 slams out of that. So just to show you that again, it's slam, and then I do the roar, and then any other skill I use, including this like rampage skill here, which does like a lot of slams. I can do like a huge amount of damage. So normally when I cast this, I just get like slam, 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 slam. But if I stun people, get the exert. Oh, sorry, wrong button. If I stun people and get the exert, then when I'm doing it, it's slam, 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 slam. Like it's doubling a number, and that's also really handy because I have a few other skills I can synergize with. So one of them here is called the volcano. So when you make a volcano, when you slam down, it emits more projectiles every time the slam goes off near it, which is quite fun. Cool. And of course, if I use rampage and then rampage around the volcano, I'm getting a lot of slams. And then even more than that, if I do the exert combo, get the exerted attack, cast a volcano, and then do a rampage, now I'm getting an absolute crap ton of projectiles, which annihilates bosses very easily. So this kind of thing, once again, we just really want to make sure that you get the feeling that you can use lots of skills, because in PoE 1 it was very common that you just right-click and that was kind of all of your interaction, you know. In PoE 2 we want to make sure that there's a lot more different things going on. I also have some wolves, which I can use, which is useful because the Druid, being a hybrid, is not necessarily the most tanky character ever. Even though you can turn into a bear, you're still you're not wearing a suit of armor, you know, like a warrior would be. So you do have to be a bit careful, and so that's where the stunning can be really useful to incorporate as a defensive measure. But also because, things like wolves, also things like tornado, which I don't have on this version of the character because that's in the demo version. This one's designed for the players to play, and normally you get that as a quest reward a little bit later. So I can't quite show you that, but I've got a tornado skill that will suck monsters in. It's another sort of tactical option on the battlefield. Go on.
What's happening on your health bar there? It looks like you're building up a shield.
What
ability is triggering?
All intelligence characters, that is to say, any armor you're wearing for intelligence characters has energy shield. So that's just a
like
sort
a
of standard. It's just a thing that you have. So if I don't take damage for a while, then I get Halo style energy shield building up there.
Cool.
Anyway. Right, so that's like a few of those interactions. But I guess another thing that is really nice to have in PoE, you know, this being a game a lot about having interesting interactions, and but also some automation is something that we want to support, just like in PoE 1. So in the inventory here, I've got a gem called Cast While Channeling, and I've got my channeling skill, which is this volcano, where if I hold it down, it like bursts out with more projectiles. And ideally what I'd like to be able to do is reduce the number of skills that I need to be using to kind of pull off the combos that I'm doing, because I want to be able to have my lightning going, I want to have my volcano going, I want to be rampaging around and all that stuff. I want to kind of be able to do that stuff together a bit more easily. So I can open the skill screen here and put Cast While Channeling in here. And when I do that, I'm going to take Lightning Storm and put that in as well. Let me just get rid of this annoying guy here. And now whenever I'm channeling, I'm able to cast Lightning Storm automatically. So I'm going to enable that buff here. And now when I use my volcano, I get the lightning storm happening automatically. Cool. And that makes a little death zone here that's really handy. And then of course once I've got that, I can be slamming down with the bear and be creating a really nice
good zone control.
Yeah, doing a thing there. So that's really nice. But we actually have another channeling skill. On the bear, which is this charge. And it's actually a bit annoying that it triggers the lightning storm as well, because I'd rather have my little death zone that I'm trying to do. And so that's why it's kind of useful that in PoE, any buff that you have, you can choose which weapon sets that you want to have that enabled for. So if I turn this off as a bear, I'm going to get my spirit back and disables the buff. And now if I change to a human, the buff goes straight back on automatically, change back to a bear and it falls back off again. So any buff you can just choose, do I want this to apply, do I not want this to apply?
Nice.
And then the spirit that I'm reserving is being consumed or not consumed.
Yeah, that helps for clarity when you're planning out your abilities or attacks.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is, because I want to automate more things, I'm going to get Cast on Melee Stun. I'm going to put that in here, and then I get the Summon Wolf ability that I have, and I'm going to put Cast on Melee Stun with Summon Wolf. And that means that if I stun enough enemies, I'll be able to cast my Wolf automatically. Which is really nice, because now I don't have to remember to cast my minions all the time. It just kind of happens automatically. And when the wolves first come out, they also do a howl, which causes them to do a crit debuff on monsters. So when I'm going to stun some guys, there wasn't quite enough charge, so I'll set 76% up the top there. There we go. So now I've got a wolf cast automatically. And now as I'm just going through, I'm just getting my wolf summoned without having to do anything. There should be another one there. And then it's especially good to use it on cast while stunning, because that means I can use my exert. I put that on the wrong keybind. Rampage. Where's the war cry? There it is. Sorry, where were we? Okay, right. So I can do my stunning. I get an extra wolf, which I didn't get that time. No, I did. I just didn't notice. Okay, right. So do that again. Get my stun. Get a wolf. And now that I've got that, I can do my exerted attack, with the roar, which I once again failed to do the timing right, because I'm in a bit of a funny setting here. Do the roar, and then I can get the rampage. And the thing is, while I'm doing that, all the monsters nearby are getting that crit debuff on them. So it's kind of a way to get more for less, if you know what I mean. So that's like a quick introduction to some Druid skills here. But I can also go and let me just find the boss for this area, and we'll see if we can utilize all of those elements. I'll just get some rage, which I need to be able to do my rampage a little bit further, and then we'll rampage over to where the boss is, and we'll do a boss fight here, and so you can see what's going on. Where is the boss? There's a problem with random levels, is you never know quite where the boss will be.
It's okay.
Right, there it is. So this here is an arena that the goblins have made to sort of fight their beasts against each other. And here we have the blind beast, which is one of an albino version who they've blinded. So here I want to get the... you can see, like, utilizing all these different attacks here.
You're melting.
Yeah, I can actually melt the boss, exactly. Because I'm getting that the volcano is actually even better. We'll have to run away from that, though. It's even better against large monsters because the projectiles hit... Because the area that the boss takes up is larger, more of the projectiles of the volcano are going to hit the boss. So that means that it's actually very advantageous. Oh no! Get away from that! Get away from that! Okay. So, it's very advantageous to be able to use volcano against a boss like this.
You gotta focus up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So.
Use your potions.
Yeah.
That's
oh yes.
all I
That's
do.
what. Yeah. Sorry. All right. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. There we go. Now I need to stun him. Okay. There we go. Got the stun. Get the exert. Get the rampage. That's what I need to do. He's in the wrong place though. Okay. No, he's all right. He's moving into it. He's moving into it. There we go. There we go. All right. So there we go. All right. Oh wait. No, he's doing that. So what I want to do while he's doing that is do my my channel. And then ideally I can pull him back in, and then I can probably just slam.
Right,
I can probably just slam. Oh yeah, there we go.
Nice.
All right, there we go. So that's the Druid.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you show me a little bit more about the loot?
There's probably not like a huge amount to talk about there at the moment. I mean, it's very similar to Path of Exile 1 in that regard.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of changes under the hood, but I guess one thing that we do want to make sure of is that in PoE 1 we had a problem with like way too many white items on the ground, this kind of stuff. In PoE 2 we really want to improve the loot. There's a few different ways we're addressing that. One of them is gold, which we added. Another one though is that the effect of what's it called? Item rarity does a lot more now. So what that means is that bosses are much likely to drop better items rather than more items, which is a better thing for the player. It means you don't have as much spam everywhere. So this particular boss dropped an attribute gaining quest item, so I can use that and get some more attributes. So that's a reason to do one of these side bosses. And then if you like, I can go to a different character class and show you some other stuff there. If you
I would
like.
love that. Let's
Sure.
do that.